So what's it like not just to cover these protests as a journalist? I've certainly done plenty of that in my day, but to actually go undercover among the protesters and spend more time with them when they don't realize that the cameras are necessarily rolling. Well, someone did that. Joey Saladino of Staten Island, New York, currently out in Los Angeles, however, he did this. He's got a video up on it. He's a conservative commentator. Joey, good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man, tell us what you did and what you saw out in California at one of these protests.
So I live in Hollywood right now for work. So I went for my morning runs and I discovered that there was a major protest gathering in my area. So I said, screw it. Let me go undercover. It's something I wanted to do. And now the protest is literally right outside my building. So I got some cameras. I put some masks on. I wore all black. I went over there. I had a hidden GoPro camera, and I just went undercover to see what's going on. And I want to learn how these protests are escalating into riots, because we're seeing people on the Black Lives Matter side saying it's the police causing this to turn into riots. And then you have people that are saying, no, it's not the police causing the riots. So I went undercover to infiltrate to find out what's the root cause of these things escalating.
And walk us through. What did you see? What was noteworthy? And did a riot break out?
So a riot did break out. The group that I was in was probably the more mild version of the riot, but it was more towards these protests. They get so big, they all start to get separated and they start to break up and they go down residential neighborhoods. And then now you got like several groups of Black Lives Matter protesters going all over the place, and it's hard for the police to contain it. And that's when a lot of the riots break out. But there are three types of people at these protests. There are the people who are trying their best to keep it peaceful. If they see a looter, if they see a rioter, if they see somebody trying to fight the police, they try their best to stop them. Then there's two, the revolutionaries, the people that are there for the protest, but they want to fight the cops. And they want to just start a race war. And then you have three are just the opportunists, looters, and rioters that just show up specifically in vans. They'll follow the protest around, and they'll scope it out, and they'll find which businesses aren't boarded up. They'll find specific types of businesses like shoe stores, and they will wait until a crowd gathers around until things get a little bit rowdy, and then they just start breaking in and bashing in. I noticed a lot of taggers, a lot of people with spray paint walking around, people with hatchets and bats, like they're ready to do something. But it just seems like the group is so conflicted from three types of people all conflicting. So they don't even have unity themselves within their own group.
And when you said so that the groups break off, and it's very interesting to hear about the three different segments within the protest and how there's different aims and ideologies at work there. But what did you see when things get incited, right? Because we keep hearing about the police response to this. You know, how do you get to that point? What did you see and how did it look at the street level when, even if it's one part of the protest, do they first go after the police to distract them, and then another component within the protest starts the looting? Or do they, is there agitation at the police before there's a police response? Or does the criminality, meaning breaking into the stores and stuff, come first? And then when the police respond to that, was there actual, rocks or bricks or whatever thrown at cops? Like, how did that part of it work?
It seems like in this protest, the looting and the rioting actually did start relatively early, but I was in the front of the protest and it started to happen towards the back of the protest. But in this particular case, when I witnessed the police start to use some force, it was after the protest entered a residential neighborhood and the police cut them off and said, no, you guys got to go down through the main streets. This is a residential area. We can't have you going this way. That's what the police said. Then there's half the group saying, locking arms. There's a bunch of people locking arms saying to their group, to the more aggressive protesters, we can't go this way. The cops are telling us to turn around. We got to turn around. And then you have the conflict. Then you got a group of people yelling at the people who are trying to stop them from going across, saying, this is our constitutional right. We need to go through, yada, yada, yada. They can't stop us. We're peaceful. We're assembling peacefully. We have all rights to be here. And they're all totally wrong. And it starts a fight in the own protest group. Next thing you know, people were swarming behind the police through the side streets. So the police look around. It's like 200 to 1. So the police just start to stand down. Everybody goes through. They're charging through a residential neighborhood. When they hear police sirens, everybody starts running and scattering all over the place, and it starts madness. So as they work their way down, and that's when a large police unit showed up and blocked them off again with cars and with the pellet guns. So they said, guys, turn around, do not go this way. Whatever you do not go this way. Full warning. If you come closer, we're going to shoot. And everybody thinks that they're revolutionaries, and they think that they're trying to make a statement. So a few dozen of them, they start putting their hands up and walking towards the cops with their hands up, don't shoot. And they're like, turn around, we're going to shoot you. Hands up, don't shoot. And then they start firing some of the pellets. That's only because after the police gave them the warning. They said, you can't come down here. They went down there. They went rampaging. They were tagging things up at least, but I don't think they were looting the residential area. But the police gave them all clear warning, do not do this. The police and the National Guard are letting people assemble peacefully. It's just when it starts to escalate into violence, that's when they start to take action.
We're speaking to Joey Saladino. He's a conservative commentator and undercover journalist. He infiltrated one of the protests out in California and Los Angeles to see how it turns into a riot. And he's giving us the blow-by-blow of that right now. Joey, what were we'd call it maybe the atmospherics of this? Were most of the protesters, did they seem like, and before, all hell broke loose, so to speak, but, when you were marching along and seeing what they're doing, did it seem like they're having fun? Was it kind of a joyous occasion, or was it more angry? What was the vibe you were picking up from being among the protest group that then turned into at least partially a riot?
It was very mixed. There were some people there one lady made a very good point. She was one of the more aggressive Black Lives Matter protesters who wanted to go and fight the cops. And this is on my Instagram story. This is not in the video. This happened yesterday. And she was trying to get everyone to fight the police while another guy was telling everybody, go home, it's past curfew, I want everyone to be safe. And she made a good statement, actually. She said, all you white people showing up here, you think it's this big party. You're all coming here taking Instagram pictures, having a party, having fun, but you're not doing shit. You're not doing anything. And she kind of made a little bit of a point there, because a lot of people are showing up to this protest and treating it like a party, while other people are showing up to be very serious. And it's two conflicting odds, and it's hard to get a good vibe, because you'll look over in that direction, people are smiling, people are happy, people are trying to be peaceful. Then you look in that direction, and it's just very aggressive, very angry, and very frustrating.
Joey Saladino, everybody. Where can people see this video that you took?
It's on my YouTube. My YouTube's Joey Saladino, or on my Instagram, which is also Joey Saladino.
All right, Joey, be safe out there, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.